What's up, guys? Okay, so I'll make a little tiny rant. Essentially, I was watching an album review of the new All That Remains album, and I haven't listened to it yet. I just heard a lot of people saying it sucks. Now, here is where my rant kicks in. So, people don't understand what people want with bands and musicians. Not with bands. Well, not with musicians, but whatever, with bands, whatever. Okay, look, this is what when people say that when people rant about bands not being different, like not bands, but like say for example, I'm using purely as an example, Memphis May Fire, right? The Hollow. Okay, well, okay, they didn't start out with the Hollow style, but Sleepwalking, I never heard that record. But I'm just gonna start with the Hollow because I started out listening to that record. So the Hollow, right? Dope. Dope album. Challenger, dope. Dope album. Unconditional was just some other kind of shit. And it's not that people didn't like Unconditional because, like, people didn't like Unconditional, one, because of the lyrics. They felt that the lyrics were a little bit too forceful about religion, which is perfectly okay because they're writing what they want. But the problem that they had is the fact that every song or most of the songs sounded very similar and didn't really have too much difference. Like they didn't differentiate at all. A lot of the songs kind of molded and kind of sounded the same, and that's something that's okay for an EP, not an album. You want your album to be completely different from your EP. You want your album to be as like diverse as you can. You don't want your album or you don't want your album sounding like the same, and that's where people get like really annoyed. Memphis May Fire stuck with that Challenger sound, which is perfectly fine. But the problem is that they didn't improve on their sound, which is why a lot of people didn't fuck with their record. Let me give you another example to put you into perspective. Motionless in White, okay? They released like I don't know how many EPs they released, but they released like a few EPs. They were dope. Then they made Creatures. That was pretty good. And then they made I think after Creatures was Infamous, and then after Infamous was I think Reincarnate. I really don't remember, but I think that's how it went. Creatures was dope. Dope record. Infamous was really weird. They still had their same core sound on a few tracks, but this is why it threw people off. It threw people off because they completely changed up their shit from the last record. They did improve on the metalcore aspect of their music, but they changed so much that people were just thrown off like, what the hell is this? Like, we like the Creature sound. That's why people were thrown off. But then when they made Reincarnate, they didn't really improve that much. They just kind of stayed the same and made a okay kind of record. Not taking anything away from Motionless in White because they're awesome people and awesome musicians, But when you don't improve on your sound, when you're writing and you're not improving on your sound, that's kind of a problem. Or if you're writing and you write something that's completely not even relevant to what you wrote in the last record. Like for example, and this is a perfect example, another good example, Broadway. Broadway wrote fucking Kingdoms, and Kingdoms was amazing. And then they came out with Gentleman's Brawl, which literally one song had freaking screaming in it. It was the last track, I think. You know how mad that made me? You know how awesome Kingdoms was? And then they wrote Gentleman's Brawl? Are you kidding me? Like, if you want to change your style, cool. But when it's out of the blue like that, it's like, what? Let me give you an example of how it works. How other bands that I've noticed that have done good shit when they improve. And I'm gonna announce a few ones that I fuck with. So I'm gonna name 4 bands, and you cannot tell me they haven't improved with every album they've released. Band number 1, Secrets. Secrets. Okay, they released their album. I really don't even know the name, but their first album. They released their first album. Pretty good album. Really good album. Then Xander left. and they released their second album. And that album was even better than their first album. And a lot of people fucked with it because they improved on their sound. They improved on their sound. They didn't change the game. They improved on what they were already good at. That's why a lot of people like the record. Another example. What's another really good example? Scale the Summit. I love using them as examples because they are what I love. So, and I'm just gonna go through all their records. Their first record, Monuments. I didn't like it too much, but pretty decent for what they could do. Their second record, Carving Desert Canyons, they improved a lot. Blew me out of the water. I mean, I was surprised when I heard that. Their third record, The Collective, son, they got The Collective is like their, in a way, it's like their debut to, it's like their debut because The Collective, they literally just like took all the songs, took all their other stuff and like just shaped it into something new and fresh. You know what I mean? Collective, dope. And then they came up with The Migration, and that album was just mind-boggling beauty. I mean, come on now. You cannot say that like they haven't, every release they've improved. So those are two examples right there. Scale the Summit and Secrets. Next band I'm gonna talk about is Animals as Leaders. First album, I don't even have to tell you how good it was. You should know. First album was amazing. Second album, in my defense, I haven't heard it, so I can't say that it was bad. It was bad or anything. But I heard that it wasn't that good. That it was kind of, it was good, but it wasn't what their first album was. Their third album though, son. You can't say they didn't improve. You can't say they. I mean, come on now. They get better with every release. Now, my fourth example, which I didn't even think about until I opened my iTunes. Alisana, or Alisana, whatever. Okay, these guys are like the pioneers of what it means to be awesome and good at what you do. Okay, first album, On Frail Wings of Vanity and Wax. The best, that is their best album ever. That album is insanely good. Alright? Seriously. So, their second album, Where Myth Fades to Legend. That album, they improved so much. Like the gap of improvement went from, here to here with their second. And then, I think their third record was The Emptiness, right? That album was sick, man. Do you see what I'm getting at, though? This is my fourth example. Do you see what I'm getting at, though? Every band I've mentioned, the more they write music, the more they improve at what they're good at and what they started with. But you've seen a few bands do this thing where they start off real good, and then they're like, "Oh, I want to change things up a bit." Why would you change things when you already created a awesome and beautiful foundation for your sound? You don't just flip the script. I mean, you can flip the script if you want to, but think about your fans that love the shit. And I always use this band as an example. My last band, which is the fifth band I'm going to talk about, I'll always use them as an example, even though some of their stuff is actually really good. The Color Morale, always will use them as an example. First album, they came out guns blazing, strong. Second album, even better than the first. Third album, now the third album, it wasn't as good as the first or the second, but it was decent. It was pretty good for what it was. For the change in their style, it was a darn good album. Come on now. You can't, and really with No Hope, you can kind of say they improved a little bit, almost. Then when their fourth album came out, That's when I feel like they hit a wall. Yes, here's the thing. Fourth album was pretty good. Heard all the songs. I only liked five or so songs. Not because I'm hating, but because a lot of their songs just sounded really meh. And it really didn't sound like they improved too much between No Hope and the new record. What is it called? Hope? Hold On Pain Ends, yeah. So I think what people need to understand, and I'm just gonna sum up the rant right here. I think what people really need to understand about bands and about why people get angry with bands when they change their sound, it has nothing to do with us not caring about what you like. Okay? We respect you as musicians. We respect you as an artist. We look up to you because you make awesome music. But when you build a beautiful foundation for your sound and all of a sudden it's changed, you can't expect like good feedback from it. And then you can't expect fans to not like it. Or you can't expect fans to like it when you just utmost flip the script. It doesn't make any sense. I understand you're an artist and you gotta do what you gotta do, and members leave and stuff like that. But you have to improve on what you are good at. You have to take what you have done with you have to take what you've done first and build up from that and get better. But you don't just build up something beautiful and then just knock it all down and start something new. That makes no sense. If you're gonna do that, start another band, start a side project. I mean, I don't understand. Now, maybe I'm wrong about this. Maybe I'm just some kid ranting because I don't know anything about music or artists or bands. Whatever the case may be, I don't care. I listen to a lot of music. And here's another last example of awesome, an awesome band that I really love that has done exactly what I've been saying. Era. Listen to Era. Stop the video right now and go listen to Era. Listen to their what? I'm gonna look at my iTunes right now because, dude, the stuff that they make is insane. Yeah, their first EP, Era EP. Their second EP, I don't even know what the name. I think it's called Andromeda. Yeah, something like that. Then their first album, Impulse, and their second album, Augment, and then their freaking EP, Moments of Clarity. Every single release they've done, every single EP, every single album, they have improved musically. And even Moments of Clarity, dog, I heard that Jesse was saying that they had to rush that. They rushed it, and it still sounded incredible. Do you know how crazy that is? Like, I just don't understand why people get so, like, retarded about this. Like, when you're in a band and you build up a sound, you stick with that sound and improve on that sound. You don't flip the freaking script. You don't. You're not, like, you shouldn't do it. It's okay to do it every once in a while, but I wouldn't do it for an entire album. I mean, come on now. Seriously. I just think that people don't understand. Like, if you're, when you're in a band or you make music in general, you always want to improve. You don't want to do, make lazy songs or make songs that you like. Like, it's not always about just you. You want to make it for the fans too. If you build a sound at first, you really want to just improve on it. You don't want to just do, you don't want to just like fucking, oh, I want to be metalcore. Oh, no, now I want to be, post-rock. Oh, no. I don't want to be post-rock anymore. I want to be deathcore. You know how stupid that sounds? Look, I think you guys get my point. All I'm trying to say is that the next time you want to complain, or the next time, I don't know how to really end this. The next time, not the next time, but I really should aim this more towards artists. The next time you guys make something, or if you start something, and you build a foundation with your sound, do your best to stick to that sound and improve on that sound. Because if you flip the script, there's nothing wrong with that, but you're gonna lose fans in the process. You may gain fans and you may lose fans. That's part of the game. But I just think that you can't just build up something and then go completely left field and still expect people to like it. That doesn't make any sense. So hey, that's just me. And yeah, this rant was kind of long, but I just had to make this rant because people aren't getting it. So with that, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.